Good evening, welcome to North West Tonight with Ian Haslam. Thank you for joining us this Friday evening. Our top story. Detectives investigating the discovery of a baby's body in a field in Salford make a fresh appeal for the mother to come forward. Also tonight, judges rule those affected by the Manchester Arena bombing cannot sue the security services for failing to stop the attack.
If this is what it comes down to, we're out of time to hold people accountable for the mistakes that have happened in 2017. And for my 8-year-old daughter to lose her life, then I'm sorry, I've got no words.
Manchester United's new head coach Ruben Amorim outlines his vision for the future at Old Trafford.
I know that you guys don't believe a lot in these players, but I believe a lot. I think we have room to improve.
The young Manchester stars of the Hollywood hit musical Wicked turn out for a local premiere.
It's been a chilly old week, hasn't it? But we're on the cusp of things getting a lot milder. And of course, Storm Bert is on the way. Join me at the end of the programme. I'll have all the details.
Detectives investigating the discovery of a baby's body in Salford have made a fresh appeal for the child's mother to come forward. The body was found by a dog walker near to Ashton's Field in Little Hulton on Wednesday. Well, our reporter Kevin Fitzpatrick is at the scene for us now. What's the latest, Kevin?
Well, Greater Manchester Police held a press conference this afternoon to make that appeal again to the mother to come forward. They say at this stage they can't confirm yet the age or the ethnicity or the gender of the infant that was found here on this land at the side of the road at around lunchtime on Wednesday. Forensic teams are still working away here behind a white fence. You can see the lights just to my right. But the main focus from the detective leading this operation today was to make that contact with the mother, and she's urging her to come forward.
We know that this baby's mum is somewhere out there, potentially watching this. And we would appeal for anyone who may know the mum or had their suspicions about her pregnancy to come forward, so we can find her and speak to her. We will do anything we can to help the mum. Trained officers are ready to support her, and no matter what the circumstances are, please contact us.
Kevin, we heard from the police there. Just tell us what other information is being shared at this point.
Well, we've been told that soil experts and an archaeologist have been at the scene to try and assess the ground around where the little boy or girl was found here. Also been told that there was some fabric around the baby when they were found, and that's now been analysed as well. In the meantime, people have been coming down here, placing flowers at the scene behind me, and officers say it's been a real scene of emotion and grief after what's happened here.
OK, thank you very much, Kevin. Kevin Fitzpatrick there, reporting from Salford. Now, buying a home is one of the biggest financial commitments you'll ever make, but for some people it ends up in huge regret. When you buy a leasehold home, you own the property or flat, but not the land it stands on. So basically, you pay extra to rent the land, and some companies are charging a lot of money. And now a BBC investigation has found one flat owner who's being charged £14,000 a month, as Hayley Hassel reports.
This is a beautiful flat. Look at the views over Manchester there, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's how it looked when I moved in, but
then you look this way.
Subsequently this has started happening.
Chris Hayes, who works at a bank, bought this new build Manchester penthouse flat in 2016 for £180,000.
Wow, so this is where your water came through from the roof?
It's leaked through, it came through the lights as well. I've got mould built up around the flat. I do a lot of treating of the black mould, but you can still see where it is.
Has that affected your health?
Yeah, I've had a few chest infections over the last year that I can only put down to mould because I've never been ill before.
You can smell the mould and damp, and you're right, that's black mould in that corner.
Yeah.
You've been treating that?
Yeah, I've got a spray that I just spray the ceiling with all the time.
You can really smell it in the air.
There's times I'm actually concerned for my safety. I've put complaints into environmental health last year because it was 95% humidity levels in the flat and freezing cold.
Chris first told the building's management company, Premier Estates, about the leaks in 2018. It was discovered the roof was defective and letting in water. Wallace, the freeholder, says it's not responsible because the roof was built by the developer. It says it will advance £2 million to fix the problem, but the cost is recoverable from the residents via a service charge. So for Chris, last Christmas, there was a nasty shock.
They changed my direct debit on the 21st of December, saying that from January, your service charge will be £14,000 a month will be taken out. I can't afford that. Well, I mean, I won't be able to, so I'll lose the flat. At the best case, bankruptcy is obviously a possibility, and you know, working in financial services, I wouldn't be able to do that either, so I'd lose my job.
Wallace say problems with the roof are due to defective construction practices by the previous owner. And it's trying to recover costs from the contractor who carried out the works. Premier Estates says it empathises and has taken steps to limit the impact upon residents.
It's just you can't sell the flat, you know, you can't move on with your life. We're just trapped here until, you know, it gets repaired, and it just keeps getting pushed back.
What do you want to happen now?
It's ruined Manchester for me, and I just want to get away really and leave this flat.
Hayley Hassel, North West Tonight.
And you can watch the True Cost of Leasehold documentary in full on the BBC iPlayer now or on BBC One at 7:30 tonight. Well, last year, a landmark report showed how MI5 missed a significant chance to stop the Manchester Arena bombing. Since then, more than 300 people affected by the atrocity have been trying to take legal action against the security service in light of those failings. But today, judges have told them they can go no further. Phil McCann's here now to explain why. Phil.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Well, it was 2017 when 22 people were killed and hundreds were injured at the end of an Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena. And last year, a long-running public inquiry into what happened came to an end. That looked at what the intelligence services knew before the attack. And we know that they had intelligence about the bomber, Salman Abedi, that could have led to him being followed to a car where he stored his explosives. We also know that that intelligence could have led to him being stopped at Manchester Airport 4 days before the attack. In response to that report, more than 300 people who were affected by the bombing joined together to take MI5 to a tribunal, saying those failings had infringed on their human rights. Today, though, the tribunal judges said their claim cannot go ahead. In their ruling, they paid tribute to the grief and the trauma that had been suffered by those affected, but they said the case had been brought too late and would have diverted MI5 away from their main job. Now, earlier on, I spoke to Andrew Roussos. His daughter Safi was killed in the attack. She was just 8, the youngest victim. He was angry, to say the least.
If this is what it comes down to, we're out of time to hold people accountable for the mistakes that have happened in 2017. And for my 8-year-old daughter to lose her life, then I'm sorry, I've got no words. I blamed MI5 from the very start. And I said I want to take them to court for their mistakes. So this is something that's not new. This is something that I've been fighting for the right justice to happen within our case. So this, to come back to us now when we're out of time, it's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And, you know, I've lost as I said, every court, you look at above it and it's got justice written up along the top. This is not justice. This is hiding.
Andrew Roussos there. Now, MI5 hasn't responded to today's decision. Solicitors for those who took action against them said today's news is extremely disappointing. They say the delays in bringing the case were down to MI5 and the time that the public inquiry took. Andrew Roussos told me the chair of that inquiry, Sir John Saunders, should now come out against today's decision. Ian.
Okay, Phil, thank you very much. Phil McCann reporting there. Now let's take a look at some of the day's other news now. And the father of Ellie Edwards, the beautician shot dead in Wallasey, has criticised the Prime Minister for failing to stop the early release of a criminal who helped his daughter's killer. Thomas Waring could get out of jail 18 months early because of the government's early release decision and a home curfew scheme. The PM says he doesn't want to release inmates like Waring and blames the Conservative government for failing to build more prisons. Tim Edwards said allowing Waring out early would be a mockery of justice. It's been confirmed that a chemical which can cause cancer has been found near to homes close to the former ICI chemical plant in Thornton Cleveleys. Environment Agency testing has shown the chemical PFOA is present in soil within a kilometre of the site. People are being advised not to eat large amounts of vegetables and fruit grown in local allotments. A TV drama out today shows the hostility faced by doctors at the Royal Oldham Hospital as they created the IVF treatment, which has since led to the birth of 12 million babies. The Netflix film Joy depicts the abuse suffered by Patrick Stepso, Bob Edwards and Jean Purdy as they developed the technique which culminated in the delivery of the world's first test tube baby, Louise Brown.
The three people that have created it are just very, very special.
They were attacked by everybody. The newspapers came out, they were called Dr. Frankenstein. Their families stopped talking to them. Their lives were threatened at points.
Looking back on it, it has literally changed the world.
Lancashire Police are investigating the theft of a 20-foot-high inflatable Santa from a family's garden in Blackpool. Video has emerged which appears to show a woman taking the deflated figure, which costs hundreds of pounds, from a display on Condor Grove last Sunday night. The family say their children are devastated. Now, this next story reminds me I've got to get my MOT sorted next month. On the Isle of Man, which doesn't have an MOT system like the UK, vehicles are being pulled over and inspected at police checkpoints as part of ongoing winter safety checks. So far, almost half of all vehicles inspected had issues with tyres, tax and insurance. Here's Ashley Tracy.
It's busy rush hour on the Isle of Man and police officers are stopping drivers to check whether their vehicles are roadworthy. Unlike in the UK, there's no MOT system on the island and therefore no legal requirement to have vehicles serviced regularly. The Isle of Man Constabulary say this operation aims to keep the island's roads safe.
So we're looking at mostly things like tyres, headlights and people's brakes, and other generic bodywork issues that make the vehicle potentially dangerous. We're then also looking at documentation, so if people have got a driving licence, insurance, if the vehicle's taxed.
If the officers are concerned about the condition of a car or a van, once they've checked it out, they've got the powers to seize it.
Like this car that was taken off the road because the owner didn't have any insurance. This JCB was also seized as part of the operation because it had been driven without tax for 7 years.
If it's a low-level defect, such as a headlight, we'll deal with that through a defect notice. But if it turns into something where we think actually this could harm somebody or lead to a collision, we've got no hesitation, we'll take it off the road.
They're also on the lookout for the so-called Fatal Five, which includes drink and drug driving, speeding, not wearing a seatbelt and driving whilst using a mobile. The force says these simple stops, which will continue across the island over the coming weeks, save lives.
Defective vehicles and your Fatal Five offences do lead to collisions and unfortunately lead to fatalities, and part of our job in roads policing is we have to break that bad news to families. So if I can break the bad news to a family one less time a year, it makes this all worthwhile.
The inspections will dovetail into the force's Drink Drive campaign as we head towards Christmas, but this is not just a winter crackdown, police say. It's part of a commitment to keep Manx roads safe all year round. Ashley Tracy, BBC North West Tonight, the Isle of Man.
Interesting stuff. Right, let's get on to the sport now with Richard. I thought he wasn't going to make it a few minutes ago. He scuttled in at the last minute.
Mate, all in hand.
Kept us
Give away
waiting.
my secrets now.
I know, exactly. Ruben Amorim gave his first press conference today, didn't he, as the Manchester United's new manager. Tell us what he had to say.
Yeah, well, he's a natural in front of the cameras, like your good self, Ian, isn't he? But he knows as well just how big a task it's going to be to turn round fortunes at United. Ahead of Sunday's trip to Ipswich, the Reds are in the bottom half of the table after a poor start to the season. But the new boss, who says he believes in himself and the club, can't wait to get started.
I'm a little bit a dreamer and I believe in myself. I also believe in the club. The only thing that I ask, hard work, and you have to believe in the new idea. And I felt that. So, until they prove me wrong, I believe in the players. I know that when you are in Manchester United, you have to win games. So I will not tell you that I need a lot of time. The strongest league in the world, and we have to improve a lot to try to win it. We will play a different type of football. We have our ideas. It's not evolution or revolution, it's a change. I choose always 100% our way. I prefer to risk a little bit, but to push in the first moment. If they feel that since first day I believe so much in our way of playing, they will believe too. We will adapt some players because you don't have the right profile. This team was built for a different system. There is no second doubts, no second way. It's one way, and we are going to do it. Call me naive, but I truly believe that I'm the right guy in the right moment. I could be wrong, but the earth still will turn, the sun will rise again, it doesn't matter, so I'm not worried about that. I truly believe that I'm the right guy for this job.
Thank you, guys. Big job for him. We'll see how he does. Well, after signing a new 2-year contract extension, talking of big jobs, Pep Guardiola made it clear today that he will be honouring his new deal no matter what.
What happened? You got relegated. I will be here. Next year we'll come up to the, I don't know, the position of the conference they're going to bring us. We're going to come up. We're going to come back to the Premier League. I knew it then and I feel it now.
Brilliant goal, that, wasn't it? In rugby union, Sale Sharks have a key game tonight in the Premiership Cup. The Sharks travel to Newcastle Falcons with both sides tied at the top of their pool on 10 points. And a mention of Tranmere Rovers, who have an important League Two match tonight. Rovers are at Cheltenham. All the best coverage, of course, Ian, on BBC Radio Merseyside.
Of course. Apparently, Rich, Ruben Amorim's chums with fellow Portuguese Jose Mourinho, a former Man United manager. He sent him a message, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Mourinho sent him a message. The two met when Ruben Amorim, he went there as an internship in 2018 through the university. And Jose Mourinho sent him a message saying it's a great club and wishing him all the best.
There you go. Well, Molly Brewer did work experience here a few years ago. She's got the weather shortly. Thanks, Rich.
It all comes together.
It all comes together nicely, doesn't it? Slick. Before that, though, just over 2 weeks ago, a mum from Ukraine, now living in Lancashire, received the news that her 4-year-old son had an inoperable brain tumour. Matvey will start 6 weeks of daily radiotherapy in December. Today, his classmates held a party for him and his mum at a local play centre in Nelson before he starts treatment. Here's Mairead Smith.
A very special arrival for a very important guest. Matvey and his mum chauffeured in a Rolls-Royce with a superhero and Paw Patrol welcome for the 4-year-old and his classmates.
It's a big support for us. His school and his teachers, so good people, and they try to help us and support us.
The joy of today comes as Matvey's mum comes to terms with the 4-year-old's brain tumour diagnosis.
Difficult time because we have not ready for this news, so it's hard, but we try to hold on because I want to give him all love and all attention now.
Today's party was hosted by Nicola and Mark Nuttall at their soft play centre in Nelson. They lost their daughter Laura to a glioblastoma brain tumour 18 months ago today.
We know what it's like, and it's the least we can do. People were so kind to us when Laura was ill, and when we brought our Christmas forward and had our Christmas in November, people were so incredibly kind. And you have to pass it on, don't you? You have to share the love.
Matvey will have 6 weeks of radiotherapy at the Christie Hospital to try to reduce the tumour.
Radiotherapy will give a time, only time. But nobody knows how long.
Victoria hopes Matvey's dad, who works in Ukraine, can come and spend time with him.
We have all documents, we've done everything, and hopefully Visa Center will give him a visa to come here, because it's just like a visitor visa, so I think it will be not a problem.
The local community have come together to make it really special, with early Christmas touches, presents and hampers from Matvey's former nursery school.
It's all about making memories these days. Life's too short and you never know when life can be taken away from you. So I think all those special moments that can be created, if we can do it together as a team, I think it should be done.
Matthew starts radiotherapy treatment in 10 days' time. His mum hopes today will help him and her. Mairead Smith, BBC Northwest Tonight, Nelson.
Look at the screens behind us. They're coming into their own tonight, aren't they, eh? It's a big night for fans of the musical Wicked. The film version, featuring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, hits cinema screens tonight. I know my daughter's going to be wanting to go and see that pretty soon, but they're not the only stars of the movie, those big names. 2 young actors from Greater Manchester also have important roles, and their families have hired out a cinema in Ashton-under-Lyne so they and their friends can watch the movie in style. And it's about to get even better for them because they've been joined at Cineworld by our own Andy Gill. Andy, I didn't have you down as a Wicked fan, but there we are.
Big fanny and T-shirts, the lot. Welcome to Screen 8 at Cineworld in Ashton-under-Lyne. All these people behind me are here for a special screening of Wicked because we have here the true stars of the show. This is Caris Musongli and you play Elphaba, is that right?
Yeah.
What's it like being in a Hollywood movie, Caris?
To be in a Hollywood movie is like amazing, and I just love to be in it because I meet so many new people.
Was it hard to act in a Hollywood movie?
Yeah, because I had to like focus really hard and I couldn't like look behind me.
When you got the part, what did you think?
I cried in bed.
You cried in bed?
Yeah.
But you're happy you got it?
Yeah, happy tears.
Excellent, OK. Now this is Hattie Ryan. Who do you play, Hattie?
I play Munchkin.
I can't believe there's anybody who doesn't know, but what is a munchkin?
A Munchkin is like a small person that's ginger.
And you have a speaking part as well, don't you?
Yes.
What do you say to one of the... it's Glinda, isn't it, you speak to? What do you say to her?
I say, Miss Glinda, why does wickedness happen?
And what does she say?
She says... She tells the story of why it happens.
So you set it all off?
Yeah.
And what does it mean to you to be in a big movie like this?
Well, this is the first time I've been in a big movie, and I was only 7. So it was very scary because I was only young, but now that I've got used to being in stuff, it feels very nice to be in a big film.
Excellent. Let's talk to some proud mums. This is Grace, Caris's mum. What do you think to your daughter?
Just overwhelmed, amazed and proud. I'm proud of everything that she's done to be in such a big film, and we got to go to the premiere and meet all the big stars, so that was an experience.
You were down in London, weren't you, for the sort of Leicester Square thing?
That's right. We were in Royal Festival Hall for the premiere, and that was really nice, and everyone was just so friendly and came to speak to Caris and give her big hugs, and yeah, it was an experience of a lifetime.
Excellent. Now, Kimberly Ryan is Harriet's mum. Are you a proud mum as well?
Yeah, I mean, Hattie, like she said, she was only little. She was 7 when she initially got the job. We held it from her for a little while. I found out at like midnight. Her agent called me in the dead of the night, screaming to say Hattie had got the part, and I wanted to make it special, so I made a little video, and when I told her, she absolutely broke her heart, happy tears. It was a dream role for her. Yeah, it was spectacular. Hattie works so hard. She trains 5 days a week at Elm Arts. She's a special little girl. I'm very lucky. Very lucky.
Do you think she has a future in films and acting?
Well, she better had. I've invested a lot in it. Yeah, she has. She definitely has, without a shadow of a doubt.
OK. Lauren Kelly is the agent with very little time. You must be very proud.
I'm really proud, and it's really exciting to have not one but 2 children from Manchester in it.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Are they superstars, everybody?
That's brilliant, isn't it? Andy Gill, known for his hard-hitting journalism tonight, asking the question, what is a munchkin? Right, no Kate tonight, but it's OK because Molly Brewery's here. Football's off tomorrow, kids' football. My question is, how bad is the weather going to be? Don't sugarcoat it.
Not good, Ian, sorry. to be the bearer of bad news, but we have Storm Bert on the way. But first, before we talk about that, let's have a look at your gorgeous Weather Watcher pictures that we've had from today. It was a gorgeous sunrise in St Helens, equally in Rochdale, lovely blue sky, although very cold start. Thank you very much for sending your Weather Watcher photos in. We love to see them now. If you'd like to send your own photos in, you can do. You can follow me on socials, or better yet, you can become a Weather Watcher, and we'll try our very best to get your photos on the telly. Now, what's happening with the weather? Today, it's been around 4 degrees. It's been chilly all week. By tomorrow, there's going to be a change. It's going to be around 14 degrees, and that's because we'll have this milder air mass. And that's because of Storm Bert. So if we take a look at the map, you can see this deep area of low pressure. That's Storm Bert. That's going to bring milder air, and that is essentially going to clash with Arctic air that we've seen this week. And that's going to bring very turbulent conditions. In fact, there will be a yellow weather warning in place from Saturday into Sunday for snow and rain. So do be careful if you are out and about, and do keep an eye out in terms of warnings for the rest of the weekend. Overnight, you can see it will start clear, and then cloud will slowly start to build up, and then here's Storm Bert here. That will start to creep up towards us into the early hours. And as you can see, just on the edge of that band of rain, there will be some snow, so potentially some snow on the higher grounds too, and gale force winds. For the weekend, not a good picture at all, Ian, I'm afraid.
Not at all, Mel, not at all. Excellent delivery, terrible weather. Come and join me over for some moon talk very quickly. This, I think we're about to see, is the Museum of the Moon sculpture, which is now at Blackburn Cathedral. British artist Luke Jerram has come up with this, using NASA imagery to create the installation. Loads of people have been watching it. Looks good, doesn't it, Molly? Have a good weekend, whatever you're doing from us. Bye-bye.
No.